I've had 3 people fail lunch recently. It was a business lunch, a final interview. They were basically in. They were going to be hired, but when they were invited out to lunch with their soon-to-be manager, they failed. Something went wrong. Let me tell you about it because it's really unusual for people to fail at lunch, but it can happen. The first person failed because they were asking some technical questions and the person thought, this is lunch. This is casual. And they kind of weaseled around some of the questions. They didn't go into really technical answers. If you're working with a highly technical guy, whether it's an accountant or a computer programmer, an engineer, or whoever, and he starts asking you questions at business lunch, particularly if it's in your interview, answer the questions. Go into more details than they think they need. Take a minute and get detailed and stop and say, is that what you meant? And you're going to make a bigger impression than you go, well, I know how to do that. It's not a big deal. And then you just start talking about personal stuff because that looks like you're evading. You have to remember a business lunch is an interview. And in this case, it was the final interview for the job. Okay. The next person lost because they were a business casualty. See, the company has a business casualty dress policy, and this person had gone in there for an interview previously, saw exactly how everybody dressed, and decided to dress exactly the same. Well, the trouble was that she dressed down just a little bit too casual. If she had come in looking exactly like she was supposed to, it was just a little bit too casual. She should have dressed up. For guys, you got to dress a little bit nicer than you're expected to be at work. That shows respect. For women, it's the same thing. The other person failed because they got too tense during the lunch interview. They looked at the people who were there and froze up. They couldn't talk. And instead of dealing with it, they let it go on. And at the end of the interview, the hiring manager called me up and said, Brian, they just weren't a communicator, didn't get along well with the rest of the team. Well, they already interviewed with the rest of the people there, and they liked them, but in this case, they were tense. Now, how do you get rid of tenseness in a lunch situation? You can close your eyes for just a second, open them up, and say, you guys, I am really tense. I apologize, but I am nervous. I just don't do these kinds of interviews. I've never done a lunch interview before, so I apologize if I seem a little bit tense. And you know what? The other people then will try to engage you in a conversation. They'll try to help you to relax. And also, they're more likely to give you the respect of saying, yeah, I understand what it's like having a lunch interview with 3 or 4 people who I don't know, and it's critical for me to get a new job. So those are 3 things you can do. Now, let me give you the last bit of advice about business lunch. Don't order spaghetti. Don't order ribs. And don't order chicken unless you know how to eat each one of those with a fork and knife and make it look like you've been doing it for your entire life. See, I had an Italian roommate in college who could eat spaghetti more neatly than I could eat steak. And it was amazing. So watch what you eat too. Those are 4 suggestions for your next lunch interview. I hope you do well. I'm Brian Dilts. My website's dilts.us and howtoreallygetagreatjob.com. Hope to see you there.